and the bottom two in the SPFL. But with away games against Celtic and Rangers on the horizon, failure to beat Hearts could start the nerves jittering at Dens Park. A Hearts victory will make sure they are confirmed in the top six. It's been quite a turnaround under Craig Levein, who despite a host of injury problems has blooded some young talent and of course led them to a record run of consecutive clean sheets. Can Dundee break down Hearts, or will the Edinburgh side add more misery to Neil McCann's week? Kick-off in 30 minutes. Well, a sigh of relief for Dundee yesterday as both Partick Thistle and Ross County lost. A win would take them above Hamilton. Hi there, very good afternoon. Welcome to Dens Park. Well, the good news for Neil McCann is he's appealed his two-match suspension, so he will be in the dugout for this game this afternoon. In the studio, it's Chris Boyd and Chris Commons. Just how much of an impact will that have for him to be there to make sure that he is in charge of his team?
Yeah, I think it's very clever how he's used a system that he can be in the technical area. I think being in the technical area against the likes of Celtic and Rangers, you're pretty much in there just to watch your team try and stop that sort of opposition. But speaking to Neil early on in the week, he certainly gave the impression that he has a huge role to play on the touchline in the technical area. He still feels that he's got a young couple of players in the team that he needs to coach. He loves coaching. And I think his impact in the technical area, in a game of this magnitude, will be a huge boost for the starting 11.
How much importance is it as a player to have your manager that close to you, or doesn't it matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think the players need to take responsibility when they go on the pitch, but, you know, when there's small little details that need tweak to that, you know, he's at the sideline and able to do it. You know, there's nothing, sometimes if you're in the stand trying to pass a message down, it gets lost. So, you know, it's no doubt it will benefit Dundee today, but, you know, at the same time, you know, it's a very, very big game for Dundee. You know, they've failed to win here this season a lot. You know, the fans are pretty quick to turn on them as well. So, you know, they need to deal with that. And also the fact that, you know, with Partick Thistle and Ross County getting beat yesterday, it's an opportunity to try and get away, as you said earlier, Haley, but at the same time, you don't want to get dragged into it. They two play each other in midweek as well, and if, you know, if one of them, then Dundee could find themselves in that playoff position, which they won't want to be in.
What is the starting 11 that Neil McCann has picked to try and get some point today, get something from this game? Well, there have been two changes from the away defeat to Aberdeen. John Ortonici, the defender, comes in, as does Simon Murray, who's on loan from Hibs. Out drops AJ Leach-Smith, he's on the subs bench, and Kevin Holt is also a substitute. And there was a fourth change for Craig Levein, just the one change from their win at Partick Thistle. Michael Smith drops out, he was injured in training, and Ross Callaghan comes into the side. Heading back to Dundee, can you understand the changes that Neil McCann has made?
I think, me personally, I don't know about you, I think Simon Murray coming into the team is a plus. You know, he's a goal scorer, he carries a threat in behind, he's a sort of striker that you want when you want a result. He brings that intensity, he runs in behind defenders, he makes it hard for defenders, and I think when you're coming up against a defence like Suter and Berra, players that don't really like running into the channels, like to just create that block and make it difficult for you to break down, this Murray coming in certainly brings that.
Well, I think it gives, you know, as you say there, it gives length to the game, which, you know, but at the same time, it's all well running in behind. You need to have runners going into the box. You know, there's no doubt that when you look at Dundee's season, scoring goals has been a massive problem. You know, their number 9, Musa, who starts today, you know, he's got 4 league goals all season. 4 of them have been penalties. You know, and what I will say is when you watch Dundee and you see the way that Neil's trying to play the game, they do get into excellent positions. They do create chances, but they don't seem to be taking them. You know, which is disappointing because there's, you know, as a striker, if you're getting chances, it's not as bad as when you're not getting any. If you're missing them, you feel okay because you know the next one's coming. But you know, it's very important that you know, if Dundee's to get anything out of this game today, they need to score first, because I mean, I think Hearts have only lost you know, twice from being behind this season. So, you know, they're a good team, and you know, hopefully it's a good game.
Okay, well, they'll be hoping for points, because when you break the league into two, this is the mini league of teams at the bottom. When they play each other, it would look like this, illustrating that the only bottom of the table, Ross County, actually has a worse record than Dundee, and Dundee as well have lost the most games. So highlights the importance of the points before the split, doesn't it, when they're knowing they're going to have to play all these teams again?
Yeah, it does, but I think when you look at that table there, the thing that's worrying for Dundee is that either lose or well, they've lost more, or win the game. There doesn't seem to be any draws, you know, which is, when you're down, sometimes it's good to go away from home and pick up a point, grind out a result, which then can breed confidence back into the team. So, you know, for Dundee, it's get back to basics and cutting out the errors that they've been making a lot of times this season.
Speaking of those errors, they're creating so many chances, aren't they? But why aren't they as clinical as you'd hope that they should be?
It's probably left Neil amazed and baffled and sometimes obviously frustrated at the chances that they are creating. These are bread and butter chances. These should be hitting the back of the net. And I think that's the frustrating part. You know, I think earlier on in the season we both said that Dundee were playing good football, they were creating chances, they were eliminating the simple mistakes in the back four. But I think as a defender, when you're seeing your attackers miss these glaring chances, it puts you under pressure. And then they are creating
It's not even half chances, Chris. You know, there's one-on-ones, there's free headers in the 6-yard box. You know, worst case scenario, you make the goalkeeper work, but you know, that's at one side of the pitch, and then at the other end, you know, when you see a defender like this as well, you know, it's very difficult. You know, and I think Neil, yes, with international break, you can work on things, but you can't really work on things like this. You know, it's strikers, you know, one touch and finishing. It's defenders. The amount of mistakes that Dundee have made this season.
That's not working on a training session. That's not saying, right, okay, listen, we need to regroup as a defensive back four. This is literally pulling the individuals into a office and saying, big man, you need to help me out. You know, the mistakes that you're making are costing the team, and obviously confidence-wise, you picked up on the centre forward. When you're missing chances, when you're not scoring, and obviously defensively look all over the shop, it knocks a huge amount of confidence out of you, which I think while Neil's in the technical area, he feels like he's got the impact that he can give them players the confidence.
Right. Well, as we know, Dundee, as mentioned, have been beaten in their last 5 home Premiership games. They've scored only 1 goal and they've conceded 12. Neil McCann is aiming to avoid yet another defeat here today. He's with Luke Shanley.
Neil, you're in the dugout today. How beneficial is that for you to be able to get the message across to your team?
It's important because I wanted to be there. I have to say that the preparation going into today's match has been very good. Over the extended period of time, as I've said, we're at a national break to put probably a lot more work in than we might have been able to do. So I'm pleased about that, but the most important thing was that I'm at the side of the pitch today. Should I need to tinker with anything, of course I'm a manager who likes to coach, so you don't ever really want to be put in the stand and away from the touchline, so I'm pleased to be there today.
What have you said to your team, maybe motivationally or tactically, to try and be more clinical and trying to have a better home record?
Yeah, I said during the week, look, it's very difficult to have an impact on a split-second decision, and it comes down to those decisions from the players. But all I can do as a manager and as a coach is do the repetition work on the training ground, reinforce the belief that I have in them, and try and foster a confidence that they don't tighten up should a chance come their way, to be fully concentrated and don't switch off when we're needing to be good defensively. So at the end of the day, as it always is, it comes down to those split-second decisions that players have to make, and really I've not got any time to impact them.
How tough will Hearts be today?
It'll be a very tough game. I think you know, Craig, since he's come into the job, clearly has an immediate impact in terms of how they play defensively. They're really resolute in terms of the back and solid. Don't really give up an awful lot of goals, never mind chances. So we know it's going to be tough, but I do believe that our game plan today is good. As I said, well, for that extended period of time to work, and as you say, if we can take those decisions well today when they come along for the players, I'm hoping that we can get a positive result and 3 points.
All the best.
Thank you.
You touched on it with the international break being time to work on things. Neil McCann said there's only a certain amount of things that you can work on, of course. A lot of it comes down to confidence. But how key will that have been, having the consistency with the relationship with his players?
Yeah, I think it's key you can work on things if you're in a shape and you get dragged all over the place and that. You can work on that, but it's just, as Neil touched on there as well, strikers, like taking too long to get shots away or missing chances, or defenders making the simple mistakes that they're making. It's virtually, you can't coach that. It's players' instincts, it's concentration, game management. And I think that when you look at Dundee's, I go back to when they played against us during the week. That they went 2-1 up, a wee bit down to 10 men, and Cammy Kerr was right back that night, but he's still flying up the right wing. The game management, Neil can't, he can't do anything with that. It's up to the players on the pitch to take a responsibility themselves.
Yeah, well, the fans seem to be enjoying life, don't they, under Neil McCann? They're hoping to finally see their first win here at home since mid-December, and they're feeling pretty optimistic about it.
I think we've got a confident squad. We've got a good enough squad to get where we should be, and the kind of football that Neil's got us playing is the football that we should have been playing a long, long time ago.
They have the right players for it, so I think that'll be enough to keep them up if they play well, obviously.
I like McCann. I think he's doing it right. I just think he needs a bit more time.
We're playing the right football, but we're just not getting the results, just not getting the luck in front of goal. We've had a couple of lucky times away games, but home games have been really a downfall this season.